I know the future, now everyone can read my mind. Chapter 8, Everything Can Be Heard. Bang bang bang. The door of Seina's room was suddenly knocked loudly, startling the three people inside. Only Bobo let out a meow meow and rushed to the door, raising a paw to start scratching at it. Who is it? Seina headed towards the door. While walking, he said to Tsumiki and Fushiguro Megumi, the food is ready, just plated. Could you two siblings help carry it out? Be careful, okay? Okay. Tsumiki nodded and immediately stood up. Fushiguro Megumi followed her lead and stood up as well. Today really is lively, huh? Seina thought while opening the door, and the first thing he saw was a white t-shirt. Not sure if it was sweat or if the shirt was naturally quite soft, the white t-shirt looked a bit see-through. Seina's gaze dropped, and right in front of him was a hazy, impressively defined chest. Ah, this. Seina had a blank expression, he hadn't even looked at the person's face yet but was already screaming internally, this chest. Daddy. Geto Suguru. Wow, so nice. He looks so strong. He even has a necklace hanging in front, just right along the middle, emphasizing the curve. Nothing is actually exposed, but it feels like everything is. This gives off even more charm than if he wore something tight. Geto Suguru couldn't help but glance down at his own chest. Right now, he was wearing just a sleep shirt, something quite thin and soft, snug on his body. It did seem like he was in pretty good shape. He silently took a step back and bent forward slightly, trying to hide it a bit. Envy. He looks like he's very strong, why don't I have that? Seina's eyes lingered on Geto Suguru. Seeing that one of his arms looked twice as thick as his own, Seina thought to himself, directly asking to touch his chest seems kind of offensive, but maybe I can touch his arm just to feel the strength, that would be fine, right? Sure thing. Gojo Satoru suddenly burst in from the side, grinning widely, his entire face lit up as if blooming with little flowers. But for some reason, his tone carried a hint of slyness, just come along with us, and Suguru will let you touch his chest every day. Seina, what? So it's Gojo Satoru and Geto Suguru? Ah, the person smoking behind them must be Ieri Shoko. These two are too tall, they blocked my view. But what did Gojo Satoru say about the chest? Did I say it out loud just now? Geto Suguru say through gritted teeth, did I agree to that? Gojo Satoru shrugged, even if you don't agree, it doesn't matter. I'll hold you down and let him touch anyway. Seeing the two getting ready to wrestle each other again, Seina had a bewildered expression. This is the third time I've met them today, right? It's quite a coincidence. Fushiguro Megumi suddenly tugged at Seina's sleeve from behind. Seina leaned down, and Fushiguro Megumi looked at Gojo Satoru outside the door, then at Geto Suguru next to him, his gaze lingering pointedly on Geto Suguru's chest. He then looked up and told Seina, my father's chest is even bigger than his. Seina blinked, your father? Suddenly realizing what he meant, Seina looked startled, glanced at Fushiguro Megumi, then at Gojo Satoru. He thought to himself, how come this adoptive father and son met so soon? Everyone froze for a moment. Adoptive father and son. The two sides exchanged strange glances. Geto Suguru deduced that an adoptive father had to be male, so that ruled out Shoko. And since next year he would have twin daughters of his own, the adoptive father must be Satoru. Shoko also understood, speaking up to remind, Gojo. Fushiguro Megumi frowned, Gojo? What Gojo? The surname wasn't that common, the last time he heard Gojo was from Yatsuya Seina when he was thinking of someone named Gojo Satoru, who would always bully him in the future. Megumi is the child that Gojo Satoru practically raised. Everyone. Hearing it suddenly like that made it sound somehow wrong. But upon thinking it over a bit more, it actually made a lot of sense. But how come this doesn't match the storyline I dreamed of? Seina wondered, wasn't Gojo Satoru supposed to die and then come back to life, and only then, entrusted with the orphan by Fushiguro Toji on his deathbed, does he decide to adopt the Fushiguro siblings. The information in those words was quite a bit to take in. The three from Jujutsu High were stunned. Gojo, Satoru, I'm dead. Fushiguro Megumi also froze, his father was dead. And entrusted them on his deathbed? He impulsively opened his mouth to ask. But Geto Suguru gently placed a hand on his shoulder to hold him back. Fushiguro Megumi lifted his head and immediately saw Geto Suguru smiling at him. He narrowed his fox-like eyes, his peculiar bangs covering half his face. That expression was exactly the same as the one that Cat had earlier when it pounced on his face with disdain. Geto Suguru mouthed silently, "You can hear it too, right?" Fushiguro Megumi's pupils shrank. He said, "Hear it?" Is he referring to that strange inner voice? So it wasn't just him who could hear Yatsuya Seina's inner thoughts. Gojo Satoru grinned at him, "We can all hear it, you know." Seina was completely unaware of the silent exchange, still lost in his own thoughts. Sigh. Both of them died so miserably. Fushiguro Toji is bound by the heavenly restriction, the lower the cursed energy, the stronger the physical abilities is. With zero cursed energy, he could completely ignore Tengen's barrier and wield all kinds of bizarre cursed tools. Gojo Satoru was caught off guard by him, stabbed through from his neck to his kidney, from his aorta to his brain. Brutally stabbed 3 times, leaving him drenched in his own blood, dying with his eyes open, and even the corpse had flies buzzing around. Everyone. Gojo Satoru's expression turned serious. Geto Suguru's face darkened as if he was about to accumulate anger. He couldn't help but want to ask, although Gojo ended up surviving, when Fushiguro Toji ambushed Satoru, where was everyone else? Why wasn't anyone by his side? In the end, how could Fushiguro Toji have imagined that, despite all his careful planning and battle preparations, and even having all those cursed spirits and tools, he still wasn't reassured and made sure to stab one last time? Even being that cautious, Gojo Satoru was able to break free, using reversal technique to revive himself, then jumping up saying something like, "Throughout heaven and earth, I alone am the honored one." Shoko chuckled, deciding that she would drag these two tomorrow and make sure they learned the reversal technique as a priority. Geto Suguru's expression softened a bit. He patted Gojo Satoru on the shoulder and said softly, "No doubt, that's definitely something you'd say." Gojo Satoru protested in a low voice, "I'm not that chuny." After that, Fushiguro Toji was killed by Gojo Satoru in retaliation, even his strongest body being pierced more than halfway through by Gojo's hollow technique. Chapter 8 End.